Chenander met with the media, and he talked about today's practice.
I thought it was really good. To be honest with you, we had a shorter one yesterday, and it was a good practice. It wasn't as sharp as the first two. This one, the guys came back, and I thought they were really, really sharp. I thought they competed till the end. I thought the tempo was good. The offense looked sharp and crisp. I was really pleased with today.
We'll have more from Chenander later this hour. The U.S. women's volleyball squad survived their second 5-set match earlier today at the Olympics down in Italy. The U.S. will tangle with the Dominican Republic in the quarterfinals on Tuesday. U.S. women's soccer squad lost their semifinal match to Canada 1-0. The U.S. will play for the bronze later this week against Argentina. U.S. baseball squad lost to Japan earlier today 7-6 in 10 innings. The loss puts the U.S. in the elimination bracket. The U.S. men's basketball squad will tangle with Spain later tonight in the quarterfinals. The U.S. still holds a slight advantage in the medal count with 64 compared to China's 62. China has won the most golds, though, with 29. Fairly light schedule in the big leagues today. One game already in the books, 10-inning final. Cleveland beat Toronto 5-2. Just about to get underway, Philadelphia and Washington to take on the Nationals. Baltimore and New York to battle the Yankees. The Mariners down in Tampa to face the Rays. And the Mets in Miami to play the Marlins. Later tonight, the Angels in Arlington to tango with the Rangers. Pirates in Milwaukee to battle the Brewers. The Giants and Diamondbacks get a series underway in Phoenix. And that's a look at the Major League Scoreboard. And that's a look at our day's headlines. I'm Greg Sharpe.
Live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly on the Huskers Radio Network, bringing you the best Husker sports experience.
Kubik sends a pass, made Gonzalez. It's over the net. Shut back by Stivrins. It's in. They did it. Match point, big run. 15-10 in the fifth. Fighting back from the abyss, down 2 sets love. Nebraska claims opening night against Ohio State. 15-10 set 5. My goodness.
Lauren Stivrins is a great leader, and Lauren was talking to those guys through when we were struggling, and she got them to change their mindset. And then, I think Lexi led the way, and Nicklin, and so those are the guys that got to do that. Then it was fun to watch. We played Husker volleyball.
Sports Nightly is brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Transportation Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down. Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Here we are back for another week. We flipped the calendar to the month of August. Where did July go? My goodness.
It was crazy. For being warned that July is extremely slow, and it normally is. July is normally a slow month, but it was a crazy busy July, and it was every week something big kind of happened, and now here we go. It's August.
Well, July included the naming of a new athletic director here. You had the Olympics, so it was not probably the typical July where you're just starved for things to happen. And we had a little realignment story in college football.
Right, and the Olympics.
All that sucked a lot of air out.
Some freshman volleyball stars playing on Team USA. Yeah, there was consistently the Major League Baseball draft.
Yep. NBA draft.
Yeah.
So, there was enough things going on. We have an NFL game on Thursday. How about that?
Crazy. Yeah. But kind of like what I said the other day about, last year was just so not normal. It doesn't seem like it's here without warning. I feel like it's time. It finally is feeling normal. It's a normal football season.
It felt so good. I stopped by practice for a little bit today, and then we had a big media session today. It feels good that those things are happening because that means the season is not far off. We're inside of 4 weeks now. We're in the same month as the game. That means something pretty good.
Yeah, and we're going to continue to be talking season, right, for a few more weeks. But I do think these guys are, like we've said it over and over again, they're saying the right things, but I think they're tired of it being talking season, and they're just ready to kind of let what their play does show on the field. And so we'll keep hearing the same messages, but I do think it's the right messages, but they know that it's all a moot point until they do it on the field.
What about no motto? There's no motto for this team, and I know this got brought up with Coach Frost in Indianapolis a couple of weeks ago, but we were on a thing today where that was kind of reemphasized that the team they don't really want to do a lot of talking right now because they know it's time to go win on the field. What about the thought about not really having a motto for this team?
I don't think this team needs one because they know what the motto needs to be and they know what the message needs to be and they know what the outcome needs to be on Saturdays.
Yeah.
And I've done a few interviews. I've listened to a few interviews, and even Luke Reimer today was in a media session talking about his personal goals. And I've asked a lot of guys this about their personal goals. And you talk about building off of what you did last year. None of them care. They don't have any specifics like, oh, I want to have this many tackles or interceptions, or I want to score this many touchdowns or have this many receiving yards. It's all about winning. They want to win. They want to help this program win and change the narrative in that way. So it's not about what they do personally at this point either, which I have found that's been consistent from players as well as it's not about what I want to do individually.
And Jessica, I love that.
Me
I think
too,
it's great.
yeah.
I mean, what's the old shit? There's no I in team, the old saying, no I in team, and everybody's like, yeah. But they're kind of walking that right now. That's kind of and that's, I think, a good sign. Does it mean wins on Saturdays? Don't know. But I do like where they are right now. Here's what we have on the show tonight. Eric Chenander met with the media today, the Husker defensive coordinator. We'll hear his comments about the first 4 practice sessions. Yep, 4 are in the books. 4 of the 25 that you get before kickoff are in the books. So we'll hear from him here in a little bit. Former Husker Isaiah Roby was back in Lincoln over the weekend, put on a little camp. Jessica caught up with him. We'll hear from the current member of the Oklahoma City Thunder, who was drafted by the Mavericks a couple of years ago by the Big Red and then was involved in a trade to Oklahoma City. We'll catch up with him. I also had a chance to talk to Garrett Nelson, the young man from Scottsbluff, now a third-year player in the program. My goodness, where did that go? We'll hear from him later on in the program as well. And if you want to be a part of it, we love that. 402-413-2400. You can either shoot us a text or dial up that number and be a part of the show as well. Right now on NBC Sports Channel, they are replaying the USA volleyball match from earlier today against Italy. The USA, if you're watching that, I'm sorry I spoiled it, but this is about 24 hours old. USA did win that in 3. They're at the top of their pool, so they certainly have a chance, I think, to be certainly a medal contender once they get to the knockout phase. But that's been some great volleyball to watch if you've been able to stay up later or catch the replays.
Yeah, I think whoever won that they needed to won, so they come out as the top seed out of their pool,
Right.
And so then they'll play the 4th, or basically they're the top seed going into the knockout rounds.
Which is good for them.
Yeah.
That's been a great story. What has not been a good story is what's happened to USA Soccer.
Yeah.
They can't score.
Yeah, we've been saying that about a couple of women's teams. The softball team couldn't score,
Yeah.
and the soccer team hasn't been able to score. Which you asked me in the beginning, am I worried? I said no, but yeah, I mean, playing for bronze now, and you saw some of the interviews, they're upset. It's not where Team USA is expected or wants to be when they go into this thing.
I think my personal feeling is they weren't right going into the tournament. They weren't in the right headspace, whatever, and I don't cover it a lot. I probably shouldn't even be opining about it, but I don't know that they really were where they needed to be mentally going into this thing. They have played 5 matches over there, and they didn't score in 3 of the 5. So, and then they've only won once.
Yeah, and I mean, and I also have not watched like every minute of every game either, but like just comparing to what Team USA has been in the past, they don't seem like they have the same chemistry. They're not as connected when they're out there, and normally that's what it's immediate when you see that from Team USA, and it does not seem like they're on the same page. That they're all kind of the chemistry's off a little bit.
Just could not find the back of the net. They lost on a PK. It was the right call. That's how Canada scored. Canada, I think it was their only shot on goal was the PK, and it went in. And so they move on. It's Canada-Sweden for the gold medal. The U.S. will play Australia for the bronze in a couple of days. They did face Australia in pool play, and that was the 0-0 tie or 0-0 tie for you soccer fans out there. So just a really disappointing Olympics. I know that they just did not compete right, and I just think that they weren't quite where they needed to be, whether that's a coaching mistake or what. I don't follow it enough, but I know that was the most popular international U.S. team 4 or 5 years ago was the women's soccer team. That's what everybody got fired up about, and this was not a good performance for them in the last 2 weeks.
I just think with how not good, I guess you could say the men's team has been. The
They're not
women's
even there.
team, yeah, I mean, but even just over the last decade, the men's team has not been good, and it's been the women's team, so they've kind of become the darlings of the Olympics, especially the two previous Olympics leading up to this one. So for them not to be playing for gold is just a shocker and a huge disappointment.
Husker soccer has their first workout tomorrow, their first practice sessions tomorrow. They have an exhibition game on the 11th. That'll be at Hibner Stadium. We'll follow that as we get closer to that. And I got a notification today that Husker Volleyball Media Day is Saturday. They will begin workouts. Their red-white scrimmage at the Devaney Center is on Saturday the 21st. So that's when they get that going. So that it's all getting here and getting going. I told you this right before we went on the air today that I was told, and I just looked this up, Huskers just had their fourth practice session of 25 that you get before you play your first game. Illinois had their first one today. They opted to take some days off going into it, where Nebraska jumped right in the first day that you could go. Different philosophies. So that's a little odd, right? We've had 4, they've had 1.
Yeah, I don't know what the exact rules are as far as, I think there's a window that you can get certain number of practices in, and then you take off days. But then there's also the rule where you have to have a day off and 7 days of, I don't know if that's happening now or if that's different, but there's definitely rules there in place that you can finagle, tweak your schedule, what fits best for you. But yeah, it is odd that we're talking day 4.
Yeah.
The shells are on for Nebraska, and they're just going day 1 right now.
Huskers do have a day off tomorrow. So the guys all have tomorrow to kind of let bodies recover a little bit. Wednesday, they'll be back out on the field. That'll be our next chance to get some the media is going to be allowed in to watch 30 minutes or so of practice, and then we'll hear from some of the offensive coaches on Wednesday's program, but we're going to hear from Henrich Chenander here in just a little bit. Big weekend. What'd you do? It cooled off a little bit. That was nice.
Yeah. I went out to Isaiah Roby's camp and was out there for a little while, and still trying to get a little situated into my apartment with my dog, Sammy, and then I slept a bunch on Sunday. I had kind of been I guess burning the candle at both ends for a couple weeks.
You've been getting watching Olympic stuff.
Yeah, I know. It finally hit me. So I got caught up on some sleep this weekend. So yeah, it was a good weekend though.
It felt so refreshing. And even I stepped outside early this morning because I opened my phone up this morning and it said 55 degrees. I go, I got to feel this. Stepped outside and it was really refreshing. We are going to crank the heat back up later on in the week. All right, that's what we're dealing with here on the program tonight. Again, if you want to be a part of this one, 402-413-2400 with a call or a text. Call us up on our Sports Nightly hotline, brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto family, bringing you more choices in brands, locations, and service. Experience the difference. Purchase with confidence. This is Woodhouse. We're back with a practice report and comments from defensive coordinator Henrich Chenander. That is next.
A DUI is everything you didn't prepare for. You did not save for it. You did not train for it. You did not go to school for it. You did not raise your family or buy a house or get a job for it. It is not your life goal or a dream come true. You have planned for everything in your life. You did not plan for a DUI. Get a ride. A DUI costs more than you think.
Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Shop Woodhouse Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram during the Make This the Summer event going on now. The Ram is where fine form meets rugged function, designed to be durable, functional, and stylish, giving you the dependability you need for all your work projects and the luxury you deserve to get around for everyday driving. With a full lineup of all new 1500, 2500, and 3500 Rams, we're sure to have one that fits your needs. Shop our full lineup online at WoodhouseChryslerJeepDodge.com or stop out and see us for a test drive in Blair.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts. When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Stadium seats may have been replaced with recliners. Tailgates outside the stadium may have been swapped for the ones in the backyard, and thousands of screaming fans have been replaced by one screaming baby. The only thing that hasn't changed is us, watching the game together.
It's game time, baby.
Show off your Husker team spirit during your next virtual watch party. Visit Cox.com/Huskers to take a selfie with Herbie. And don't forget to share. Watch together, cheer together, take a selfie together, even if you're not actually together. Cox, bringing us closer.
As the official bank of Husker Nation, FNBO invites you to take the game with you with the free Husker Visa debit card. Tied to your checking account, the Husker Visa debit card allows fans to show their Husker pride all year long. Get your free Husker Visa debit card today at any FNBO branch or visit fnbo.com/Huskers. FNBO, the official bank of Husker Nation. Member FDIC.
Does it really matter where beef comes from? Meet the facts. Fact. Hy-Vee Choice Reserve beef comes from the Midwest, so you get only the highest quality beef raised on family farms here in the heartland. Where do the other guys get their beef? We're not sure either. Get the facts at meetthefacts.hyvee.com.
Back to Adventures in Technology. Look away! A runaway train of IT problems is bearing down on our brave IT hero. But wait! It's Marco's Technology Assessment to the rescue with life-saving IT strategies. Our hero's technology issues are derailed. A tip of the hat to Marco. And our hero rides into the virtual sunset of our WebEx background. For more successful IT adventures, go to marconet.com.
From vintage sneakers to bacon-scented soap to water fountains for your pet, all can be had with a few simple clicks. Problem is, you never really know what you're going to get until they show up at your door. Introducing Ford Blue Advantage. It's used car buying that's built for you. Not only can you shop for used vehicles online, in person, or both, you can also test drive before you buy, so you know exactly what you're getting. Plus, get history reports, vehicle inspections, Ford warranties, and the expertise of factory-trained techs. Visit FordBlueAdvantage.com today.
We're back, Monday edition of Sports Nightly here on the Husker Sports Network. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you. Hope you had a good weekend. We have flipped the calendar to August 2nd, headed toward that Husker opener on the 28th against the Fighting Illini. Huskers have 4 practices now in the books. They started on Friday, 1 a day, and today was our first media availability since they started practice. We heard from some defensive assistant coaches today, including defensive coordinator Eric Chenander, and he talked about with all the veterans back on that side of the ball, it was kind of nice to not have to start over here with the fall practices.
Yeah, that's kind of what we were alluding to earlier. I feel like it's we're not in general math anymore. We're like in whatever you guys took. I took like general math 1 and 2. You guys like calculus or whatever, right? We're there. So we're getting these formulas figured out instead of figuring out 2 + 2, and it's really nice. It's almost, you get to the install with the older guys, they're almost kind of like, seriously, we going to install this again? And you have to do it for the rookies and those types of things, but it just feels different. It doesn't feel like it's Groundhog Day, like we're starting over every single day, like something it has in the past when you're putting in a new system and you're getting new players and those types of things. It feels like we've already got the groundwork laid. Now we're putting on the trim and the shingles and the details, and that's a good feeling for me.
That's encouraging to hear that. Did you take calculus? I didn't get that high up in my algebra was where I topped off.
Yes, I did take calculus, and I took I actually took what was it? What's the first algebra when I was kind of one of those kids that my mom was the counselor and made me take like all the top stuff, but I was taking college level classes when I was a senior in high school. So
did they count then to college credit?
Yeah, so it counted to college credit. But no, I took that a lot away from that as well, and I think you're hearing that a lot from players and coaches, the fact that because you have so many guys that have played a lot of ball, you can get right to it.
Right.
And you don't have to waste a lot of time going through the basics and going over the basics. You can move a little bit quicker, which is always nice.
They've added a few parts since spring, but not a lot. And so those kids are just going to have to try to catch up. And the other ones, if you can do this, that's where the advancement is really where it will help you out. So that was encouraging to hear him say that. The older guys certainly then can help the younger guys, and that's our next clip from the coach about the older guys trying to help the younger guys, but just a willingness for all of them to do the right things.
Yeah, I think those older guys, as you can imagine, providing a lot of leadership. But I think the main thing I see globally across the team, not just offense, not just defense, not just special teams, is the willingness to do things right by everybody. And that starts at the top. And I think those freshmen right now are getting a little, baptism by fire, and they don't know any other way. They know those old guys do things right. They know those old guys demand them to do things right, and it's rubbing off on them. And I think that's the biggest thing I see through 3 practices so far.
And that's naturally the way you'd think that it would be. Okay, inside linebackers, it's been a while since we heard from Barrett Ruud. Eric Chinander was asked about that group. It's one of the thinner spots on the team, particularly with the loss of Will Honus late in spring, the most experienced guy in that room. How about the inside backers? Here's Chin's talking about that side of that position group on the team.
Yeah, Nick, I thought through the spring, I thought Nick played as well as anybody on the football team. And so far through 4 practices, he's continued on that path. He's got competition. That room is pretty tight. You got those 4 guys at the top right now. You got Nick, and you got Luke, and you got Garrett Snodgrass, and you got Chris Kolarvik. And then you got some freshmen, some young guys pushing them from behind. So that competition is really, really high. And I think that's really, really good to have that competition, because even if those guys separate themselves, they know they can't stop. But Nick's done a really good job so far.
You better have 4, because playing 2, as many run-heavy groups we have in this league, you're going to get bumps and bruises and guys get knocked out.
Yeah, I mean, you heard it. At least there's that 4, though, that they have
right
at the top are really competing. And Luke Reimer actually today was talking about Nick Henrich, and says, as he goes, we go. So apparently he's kind of really stepped up in that leadership role. And, again, talking about the leadership level at every single position, it kind of really pushes the level of standard of play, for the whole team. So you heard about those freshmen coming in, the new guys coming in, they know what the standard is. So it's not, you're not having to learn, look at these old guys are doing it the right way. We got to do it the right way. So again, just overall that experience kind of paying dividends, not just in the, being able to put installs in really quickly, but also just the standard, the level of play and competition that you're seeing.
One of the questions we've been getting asked a lot of, and will continue to, and I know the coaches hear it, the players hear it, is can you get a pass rush? Where can you get to where you've got pushing the passer, getting in faces of the quarterbacks? Here's Chin's talking about the pass rush.
Got to get more pressure.
Does it come down to, can you scheme more pressure, or is it about at some point guys winning one-on-one?
Yeah, I think it's both, to be honest with you. I looked at just about all the sacks in the Big Ten last year from every team, and it's not like it was 80% 4-man rush and 20% 5 or more. It's pretty even, maybe a little more tilted towards the 5 or more. So I think you got to be able to scheme some pressure. You got to find a way to get guys home. And then when we rush 4 or we rush 3, somebody's just got to have the will to win. When you rush 4, one guy's getting double teamed, 3 guys got to go one-on-one. Somebody's got to go win that battle. And I think you can affect the quarterback in many different ways, right? You can sack the quarterback. You can tip a ball down to the line of scrimmage, or you can just pressure a throw and make him throw it away, or you can collapse the pocket and make him throw it out of the well. But however that happens, we have to find a way to affect the quarterback.
One of the most asked questions in the offseason is it pass rush and running backs. Those are probably the 2 biggest things that I hear, and I know you've heard it too.
Yeah, no, it's definitely been the 2 biggest things that it seems to have been brought up since I've been here. But it's so important, and it's not just one guy. You can't just have one guy that's really elite at rushing the passer. You got to have a line that can create some havoc up there. You got to have secondary guys in the secondary that can prevent the pass from happening. So I think it's just overall collective group. But yeah, you do have to have that guy that can get up there and make some things happen.
And pressure can come from different places. It can come from a nose tackle pushing the center back into the quarterback. It can come from an outside linebacker beating his guy off the edge. It can come from a blitz. It can come from a safety. So it can come from various points that's where the creativity of a coaching staff and Eric Chenander has to come into play. And I think they know that. They know they have to do that, because that leads into the next question that he answers, and that's about creating more turnovers. So here's Chenander talking about trying to find a way to take the ball away from the other team more.
Yeah, I think there's definitely, an opportunity to be very multiple, if you will. That's a term media likes, I think, multiple. But, an opportunity to play some 3-man fronts, some 4-man fronts, even some true 5-man fronts, and then get really creative in pass rush situations, because some of those interior guys can rush the edge, and some of those outside guys can rush, they can speed rush an inside guard and those type of things. So I think it does give you a little bit of flexibility in there. But the biggest thing about that group is they all understand what we've tried to get done. They've all been through the rigmarole for a while, and they're doing a really good job of making plays that they're supposed to make right now.
And our last thing from Coach Chenander, Tyrique Johnson, much ballyhooed former 5-star recruit that went to Ohio State out of high school, transferred to Nebraska earlier this summer. We talked with Travis Fisher a couple of weeks ago about where is he? Is he a safety? Is he a corner? Travis Fisher goes, I view him more as a corner than a safety, but here's what the defensive coordinator had to say about one of the newest additions to that side of the ball, and that's Tyrique Johnson.
Yeah, Tyrique's done a nice job, coming out of into a new program, learning a new scheme. You can definitely see in one-on-ones and those types of things the elite movement skills that he has that made him a 5-star recruit. Once he gets more comfortable with the guys and in the scheme, I think he's going to be a really, really valuable asset to our football team.
Pretty talented kid. You don't get they don't give many 5 stars out, so he must be pretty talented.
Yeah, I know. I mean, and I think, again, that depth that you're seeing in the competition, continuing to bring guys in where you don't just have one guy that you call on up there, that there's 2 guys in there pushing each other in fall camp. But, yeah, I think you've seen a few of the videos that have come out from Ora and his crew, and you can tell that he's made some plays out there that it's got to be exciting.
He has been featured a couple of times in some of those videos that have been put out over the last 4 or 5 days. So there's kind of a recap of what Eric Chenander had to say after practice number 4 today. Tomorrow's a day off. They'll go again on Wednesday, and we'll hear from some of the offensive coaches after Wednesday's practice session. So thoughts, what'd you hear? What are you curious about? We can get into that. 402-413-2400. That's the number to dot us up with a comment or question or fire off a text. We have time to tell you to buckle up and put that phone down. It's a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. We'll answer some of your thoughts next.
From vintage sneakers to bacon-scented soap to water fountains for your pet, all can be had with a few simple clicks. Problem is, you never really know what you're going to get until they show up at your door. Introducing Ford Blue Advantage. It's used car buying that's built for you. Not only can you shop for used vehicles online, in person, or both, you can also test drive before you buy, so you know exactly what you're getting. Plus, get history reports, vehicle inspections, Ford warranties, and the expertise of factory-trained techs. Visit FordBlueAdvantage.com today.
So, when do you think you'll be done with our kitchen renovation?
Well, ma'am, the Italian marble countertops will take a while to get in.
No problem. In the meantime, you can start on the spiral staircase.
What?
If you win Mega Millions from the Nebraska Lottery with a jackpot that starts in the millions in drawings Tuesdays and Fridays, you can afford to go a little mega.
So you want us to build a spiral staircase?
Well, how else are we supposed to get up to the helipad? Oh, good. My husband's home.
Top prize odds 1 in 302 million.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
The game isn't just about winning or losing. It's about the snacks they share after they've used up all their energy in the field. It's the early morning practice before school and staying late after to get a couple more kicks in. It's the pride they feel for their team and the determination to always keep improving. Sure, the game isn't always about winning or losing, but when they've won the big game and celebration is in full swing, there's only one thing left for you to do. Get them home safe. Buckle up and back. Paid for by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. On May 7th and 8th, Nebraska celebrated its largest May graduating class in university history. 3,594 degrees were awarded to Nebraska graduates in ceremonies at Pinnacle Bank Arena and Memorial Stadium. Along with receiving their diplomas, graduates also heard
America,
inspiring
the future
speeches from
belongs to
notable
everyone.
Nebraskans,
So we built the
including
truck of the
legendary
future
coach Tom
for
Osborne.
everyone.
Still
Ford
waiting for your
F-150
stimulus
with an
check?
available
Don't
Pro
wait
Power
for the
onboard.
government. Get the SOS stimulus package right now. For a limited time, get $2,000 off a qualifying York system. York products are all proudly made in the USA. Call SOS, a trustworthy company since 1950. SOS is a family-owned third-generation company. Get you and the loved ones comfortable again with SOS.
SOS to the rescue! SOS! SOS!
So, when do you think you'll be done with our kitchen renovation?
Well, ma'am, the Italian marble countertops will take a while to get in.
No problem. In the meantime, you can start on the spiral staircase.
What?
If you win Mega Millions from the Nebraska Lottery with a jackpot that starts in the millions in drawings Tuesdays and Fridays, you can afford to go a little mega.
So you want us to build a spiral staircase?
Well, how else are we supposed to get up to the helipad? Oh, good. My husband's home.
Top prize odds 1 in 302 million.
Husker fans, looking for a seat in Memorial Stadium? Custom 3-game mini plans are available now for only $195. Choose any combination of the 6 games available. Matchups available in the 3-game plan include the home opener versus Fordham, Buffalo, Northwestern, Michigan, Purdue, and Iowa. Don't miss this opportunity to join the greatest bands in college sports and help fill Memorial Stadium. To build your mini plan, visit huskers.com/tickets or call 1-800-8-BIG-RED.
Back to Adventures in Technology. Oh no! Our IT hero is caught in the jagged jaws of ransomware attacks and phishing scams.
Help!
Wait! It's Marco's Network Security Solutions to the rescue with life-saving ways to detect hungry cybervillains and stop them cold in their tracks. With Marco's Network Security Solutions, our IT hero lives to surf another day. For more successful network security adventures, go to marconet.com.
We're back, Sports Nightly here on a Monday. If you want to be a part of the show, 402-413-2400. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you here on a Monday night. Let's go to the phones. Patrick's up first. Good evening, Patrick. Welcome to Sports Nightly.
Hi. Yeah, I actually had a couple of comments here. You guys were talking about soccer earlier, and I totally agree with what Jess said about the women's team. But just for your information, the men's team last night actually won the CONCACAF Gold Cup. Yep. Beat Mexico in extra time, 1-0. So props to them. I know they don't get a whole lot of recognition because they're overshadowed by the women's team, but kind of a good thing. And then the other thing that I was going to ask, and I'll let you guys kind of tell me what you think. What percentage, maybe odds, do you think that running back Yant has of being the guy as the running back for Nebraska? Okay. All right. Bye.
All right, Patrick, thank you. I think he's got a role. I don't think he'll be the starter, but I think he'll have a role. I was out there today. He's probably a little too heavy than what he needs to be, but he's also a guy, Jessica, if you're trying to milk a lead or a clock late in the game, there's nobody better than Jack Yant because he's 250 pounds, and he'll be tough to tackle late in the game for a tired defense. So I think he has a role. I don't think he'll be the starter, though.
Yeah, and he's a guy he's going to have to constantly watch his weight, too.
Yeah.
It's not just right now he's put on a lot leading into camp. He's going to have to stay on top of that year-round, and so he's got to trim that down a little bit. But, yeah, I think there's some other guys, Marquis Stepp, and then Sevion Morrison, and the freshman, Gabe Irvin. Irvin is really, I've heard he's just handled his business not like a freshman. He's come in and been really impressive of how he's kind of approached this college football thing. So, I think to me, it seems like those three would be the guys that are going to be jockeying. But I also found it interesting that Scott Frost said at Media Days that he wants to find the 1 and 2 guy and name it pretty quickly. Yeah. So we might know that within the next couple of weeks.
We are going to hear from Ryan Held on the program tomorrow night, breaking down that room. On our text line, James says, I love the positive outlook and not the rain on this party, but the schedule's a killer. You're right. My motto is just post a winning record, break the darn losing streak. Thanks, James. I'm with you, James. I think a bowl game for this team, when you're playing Oklahoma and Ohio State and Michigan, and then you add in Wisconsin and Iowa and Northwestern. I mean, it is. I think most publications have it one of the top 5 toughest schedules in the country. If this team can get to a bowl game, I think that would be a positive spin. We're also streaming Sports Nightly now on our YouTube channel, and you can jump into a chat room there. Anything going on in the chat room tonight?
Yes, had a couple questions for you. What is Ron Brown's extended role for the team this year? Also, has Bill Bush been helping with special teams at all?
Bill Bush is absolutely helping with special teams, and that was a great addition. Bill was a part of the LSU staff the last couple of years, was a former Husker assistant, so what a coup for Scott Frost to get Bill Bush to come back. And Ron Brown has been kind of a player development type guy the last couple of years, but he missed coaching, and so they've got him more of an analyst role where he can actually talk to the players a little bit more, be more of a counsel for them, and he absolutely is having more of an impact with our players. So good questions, and yes to both. Bill Bush helping out with special teams, and Ron Brown helping out wherever he can.
That one was from Andy Harris, and then got one more from Force Shift. He said, Jessica and Greg, any thoughts of the Oklahoma State-Oklahoma drama? Did the Sooners do the Cowboys dirty?
I'll let you handle that.
I mean, yeah, I think it got a little messy. I think they were trying to, again, keep it under wraps, but I think the end result, Oklahoma State fans do feel a little like they were treated a little badly in this deal. I think a lot of the Big 12 is, and currently right now there's a special Senate meeting in Texas that is kind of going through. Bob Bowlesby is there, the presidents from Texas Tech and Texas, all kind of talking about the future of what might come with the college football in Texas, in the state of Texas. But yeah, I do think they feel a little slighted. Oklahoma State does, and I think the president made that very clear that they feel like they weren't treated well in this deal. But Oklahoma and Texas feeling like, when you're talking about the future of what's to come, that this was the best move for them. So
they have had this committee legislative meeting going on in Austin for about 4 or 5 hours now. Bob Bowlesby, the Big 12 commissioner, got up and talked and said that he believes Oklahoma and Texas loss takes about 40% of the value of the TV package away from the league. That's a big hit. And the Texas president did admit that they started conversations with the SEC in the spring.
And said that that ESPN was not involved with the conversations whatsoever. I think you and I both made it very evidently clear that we do not believe that is the case.
There are reports that his nose was growing as he made those comments. So let's go back to the phone. Pete in West Point's up next. Good evening, Pete.
Good evening. How you doing?
Good, thanks.
I wanted to bring up 2 to 3 points to get your view on it. I think to have a really good defense, you have to have really good safety play. And I personally don't think the safety play has been real good the last 3 years. So who's that safety? If you could kind of tell me who's that safety, and I think that has to improve this year. And on offense, the right guard has got to improve. He cannot let the defensive end go right around him. That killed us last year. The second point I wanted to make is if you add up the penalties, turnovers, and special teams the last 3 years, if they were at least even with the opposing team, we would have a winning record. So that has to get corrected, I think, to have a good team. And I can put that on the coaches.
Fair enough. Pete, appreciate it. Thanks for the phone call. Right guard has been Matt Sichterman. Matt kind of took that job coming out of spring. Will he hold on to it? I don't know. He'll have competition there from Brock Bando. Ethan Piper can play left or right. I think he'll probably line up more left than he would right. But Sichterman, who's been in the program for a long time, is there. The safeties are both back. Dismuke and Deontay Williams are those 6-year guys. Those are those bonus players coming back. I thought they had pretty good years last year. Now, Deontay got thrown out of a couple of games for some targeting calls. He's got to watch that. Miles Farmer is also a guy that was having a really good year last year until he tore that leg up at the Purdue warm-ups that were going on. And what would that have been? Week 5, I think, last year. So he's back, looks healthy. And I think Isaac Gifford will get into the battle at that safety spot as well. But you're dead on about, that's the name of the game. Turnovers, plays in special teams, penalties. Those will usually make or break you.
And the team has said that over and over again. Talk about the talk and saying the right things. That's another big point that they've been making. They know that they cannot keep shooting themselves in the foot. That some of those mistakes here or there has cost them a win or loss and the difference in the win column. So you look at some of those close games, and I think they fully are aware that some of those mistakes have cost them wins, and that has got to change. You cannot make those mistakes in this league.
Also, back on our text line, have we heard anything about special teams? Mike Dawson was brought in front of the media today. He's overseeing all of special teams. And he talked about how it's been a huge part of their first 4 practices is working on that. Not yet ready to name a kickoff specialist or the starting punter yet. Things are getting closer on that, but he did talk about how much emphasis they're putting on that. So, yep, special teams was brought up today by Mike Dawson.
And I thought Chenander talked about, the freshmen coming in, that with the 4-game rule now, that you can utilize some of those guys on special teams and see which guys are going to help you out, that they're going to definitely utilize putting those freshmen on some of those special teams and see if, that could work out for them as well, getting some depth there.
Best rule the NCAA's put in. Letting freshmen play up to 4 games and keeping their red shirt. It's a terrific rule.
And not just the 4 games at the beginning of the season, 4 games anywhere. And also, it helps, too. This has happened for several teams where, maybe a guy is hurt in spring, and then they work themselves back, and then they can play in the 4 games at the end of the season and still have their redshirt year.
Yep. Here was Mike Dawson's quote today to the media about special teams. He said, you have to have good guys on the punt team, the field goal PA team. We have to do a good job of being able to place the ball and get that thing booted on the kickoff coverage, and then our punt has to be located. We just can't spray them all over the place. We have to be exact in our execution, just like in any other phase of the game. We've had 4 good days of work as far as the scheme stuff goes, with the 4 core groups talking about coverage, return units. We've been able to hit the specialists a couple times, working on the battery of the field goal, the extra point team, getting some snaps, but we're not yet ready to name who will be those position battles. So Connor Culp's the place kicker. He's going to be doing the field goals and the extra points. The punting battle is still up in the air, and the kickoff duty. They brought in 2 or 3 different kickers, so it's going to be a competition in the coming weeks. Best thing you can do is find somebody to boot that thing out of the back of the end zone. Don't let anybody even try to return it out of there.
Then you don't have to worry about it.
Exactly.
Don't have to worry about the return game at all.
Good stuff coming in on both the calls and text line. Keep them coming. 402-413-2400. We got more sports highlight straight ahead.
From vintage sneakers to bacon-scented soap to water fountains for your pet, all can be had with a few simple clicks. Problem is, you never really know what you're going to get until they show up at your door. Introducing Ford Blue Advantage. It's used car buying that's built for you. Not only can you shop for used vehicles online, in person, or both, you can also test drive before you buy, so you know exactly what you're getting. Plus, get history reports, vehicle inspections, Ford warranties, and the expertise of factory-trained techs. Visit FordBlueAdvantage.com today.
Does it really matter where beef comes from? Meet the facts. Fact: Hy-Vee Choice Reserve beef comes from the Midwest, so you get only the highest quality beef raised on family farms here in the heartland. Where do the other guys get their beef? We're not sure either. Get the facts at meetthefacts.hyvee.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Did you ever buy something and get more? More than you expected? Emeritus offers insurance, employee benefits, and financial services, but we deliver so much more. The comfort of a human voice when you need it. The confidence of flashing a beautiful smile. The relief that your family can keep living the life they love. The serenity of knowing you've planned well and can enjoy life. That's what we really deliver. We call it fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services, and much more.
Want to get all the latest Husker news straight to your phone? Need to be the first of your friends to get the scoop on all things Huskers? Sign up for text alerts from Nebraska Athletics. Text Huskers to 83200 to get game time notifications and updates, breaking news, special ticket offers, and more straight to your phone. All the Husker news is just a quick text away. Just text Huskers to 83200. Standard text messaging rates apply and may vary by carrier.
We're back Monday Night Sports Highlight here on the Huskers Sports Network. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you. 402-413-2400, the number to call or text. Pete called back. He actually meant the right tackle. That's Bryce Benhart. And, he was a redshirt freshman a year ago, Pete. I think he got better as the year went along. I thought he played really well in the Rutgers game, the last game of the year. And I think Greg Austin felt like he had a good spring, made progress. He's a giant of a guy. He's 6'9". I think you'll see improvement from Benhart at that right tackle spot as you go into his second full year of starting over there. So
wasn't that one of the names
helps.
too that Jeremiah Searles was saying could have pro potential?
Yeah,
could
I think he
be
does.
NFL guy.
Yep, I think he does. He's just big.
Young.
He's young and big, and it just takes a little bit longer to cook through some of that. So keep the text, keep the chat line coming with all that. We've been talking a bit about some of the news from the Olympics. Simone Biles is going to try to compete in the beam. That's the last of the individual events tomorrow. I'm glad that she's going to be able to do something other than one vault to start the Olympics and then out. I'm glad. It makes me happy that she's going to try it.
Yeah, I think they said that it would be a really kind of scaled down routine that if you've heard at all, you've been following, she had the twisty. So her dismount, that's the Biles that is named after her, she probably will not do that. So it won't be a difficulty level as much as high as it we're used to seeing from Simone Biles, but I'm glad that she's going to get to do at least one individual event on the way out. But I also think, too, I wonder, and I can't remember how the scores shook out at the end, but if maybe it wasn't one of her teammates that was going to get moved in, that, so the other events, it was her teammates that moved into her spot.
Yeah.
Team USA participants, but I don't know with the beam how those scores played out, that if that would have been the case for the beam.
Very good. Let's go back to our text line. Art said, just a quick comment, we should consider this Scott Frost third year because last year really didn't count with all the COVID issues. There's some truth to that. I was surprised. I was surprised a number of teams changed coaches after last year. That was just a difficult year to judge anybody on that season.
Yeah, and just the uncertainty of, is this season going to happen? Is it not going to happen? You don't have the normal off season and preseason leading up to it. Then you saw some injuries and that maybe you wouldn't see if you had a normal preseason. And there's a reason why that football is a year-round sport. And if you can't do it year-round, you're just not going to see the true form of what a football team could be. We were talking about this today about Ohio State didn't look like, normal, as good as what people thought they were going to be for a while. And a lot of that had to do with the lead up to the season.
No doubt. All right, John on our text line said, regarding the play of the safeties, I think it'll be greatly improved if we can improve the pass rush. It kind of goes hand in hand with what we've been talking about. You make that quarterback make quicker decisions instead of hanging the safeties out to drive. We can do that and have an improved running game. I think we're going to be in a bowl game. Go Big Red, John in Omaha. I think he's right. Goes hand in hand. Pass rush, play down the field, turnovers, all that goes hand in hand.
You give quarterbacks all day back there to pick apart. I mean, it's hard to stay matched up that long with defensive backs, so no doubt.
Good comment, John. Keep them coming. Boy, text line is busy tonight. Appreciate all that.
Football is here.
Yeah, people are into
Fall
it.
camp. Let's go.
Camp is going, and we're back and fired up. Nick Henrich was a major topic of a lot of people today, from his position coach, Barrett Roode. And Nick has bounced in and out. He's been on the outside. He's been on the inside. With the injury to Honus, Nick Henrich had to slide inside. Luke Reimer talked about his teammate today and kind of put some pressure on him. He said, we kind of go as Nick goes. That's a little bit of pressure putting on a guy like that.
That's hard to do, too, going inside, outside, making that move. So, but it seems like they've really been really diving in. When I sat down with Luke Reimer, he was talking about the amount of time that they've been spending, that group in the film room. What you got to do, I mean, you're the quarterbacks of the defense. So I think they're putting the necessary work in off the field that it takes to transfer over. But yeah, that is tough, kind of going in, out, and back in. So, but yeah, big words for him all around.
How relaxed do you think some of the guys are tonight? Knowing they don't have a practice tomorrow. They get a day where they can catch their breath a little bit.
I thought it was funny when you were asking Garrett Nelson about it. He said, no, I got to stay locked in. So,
well, he's not normal.
I know, but yeah, I mean, when do full pads come back on? Is that Wednesday?
I think it's Wednesday they get to put them on for the first time.
Maybe they're breathing a little bit, but then it's right back to okay, we're back to full pads, which amps up the intensity another notch.
You mentioned Jeremiah the other day. He always makes me laugh because he goes, well, until you put the pads on, you've been doing nothing but out there in your pajamas.
He called it the underwear Olympics.
The underwear Olympics.
Yeah.
And there's some truth to that. Some guys are really good until they know they're going to get popped or they're going to hit somebody else. So it does change the dynamics.
Yeah, and he talked about that on the podcast about, you got a guy running through gaps with no pads on, and then, hey, we're going to put the pads on. We'll think twice about that again.
That's exactly right. Does it change the total mindset of all that? So that's going to be happening later this week. So this is going to be an interesting couple of days because it does ratchet up. The temperature's supposed to crank back up as we get closer to the end of the week, back into the 90s, mid-90s. Today was a dream out there for them. It was like when they walked on it was 60 degrees when they walked out on the practice field today. Warmed up a little bit by the end of the practice, but it was really nice for them to be out there today. And it's here. You got the soccer team starts with their first practice tomorrow. Volleyball has media day on Saturday. Love it. Love the fact that we're getting going and getting all this cranked up here.
We were like 2 weeks out from the first soccer game, right? And you mentioned the red and white scrimmage for volleyball. We're about to have like actual competitions to talk about, not just practices when it comes to some of these other sports. We're talking about practice, so we're going to not have to talk about practice all the time.
And we will, mark my words, and folks listening, you're going to hear the same thing. You're going to get kind of tired of hearing this in about 10 more days because you're going, let's just talk about an opponent. Well, we'd love to too, but you have to put the work in before you can get into a game week.
I do think we're going to have more information than maybe you typically do because it sounds like they want to name a two deep. They want to name guys. They don't want to mess around and, wait until the week of the game to name starters. It sounds like if guys earn it, they're going to be willing and open to announcing that and naming that. So we might be able to dive into that a little bit more other than the same coach speak every single day.
That was different from Scott Frost last week when he made that comment that he wants to get to that two deep a lot quicker than he has in the past. And I think some of it is because of some of the reactions of some guys. When they don't win the job or they know they're not winning the job out of the gate, it changes mindsets a little bit. I think instead of having that shock value hit them game week, do it earlier. So if they want to pout or they want to, if they want to kick the sand for a day or two, let them do that before you have to turn your full attention to an opponent.
Well, also getting the reps in at the ones, so you're not going back and forth trying to figure out the competition. And also with such a big game out of the gate, you've got to kind of get those starters kind of settled so that you know what you're working with going into a huge game off the bat.
Coming up next hour, we're going to hear from Isaiah Roby. Jessica caught up with him over the weekend. He was putting on a camp. This place means a lot to him. I mean, he's not from Lincoln, Nebraska. He's not from Nebraska, period. But yet came back here to do this, and he's also set to graduate. He's going to get his diploma here in a few weeks.
Yeah, I was so impressed with him. And I was told, by a few people how great of a guy he is, how well liked he is here in Lincoln. But I was really, really impressed. And yeah, working on his degree and talked about how, the folks here in the academic center was very, very helpful in making sure he had everything that he needed. Even his cap and gown, he's going to walk. So that's
fantastic.
Awesome. So good for him. He's talked about just the importance of the getting his degree for his family. And so, yeah, really cool story.
I love those stories. We had it in football back in the May graduation when Levante David came back and got his diploma. And Levante has been gone from here for 8 or 9 years. He's been an all-pro in the NFL, came back and got that diploma. That just makes you feel good that it still means enough to them to come back and finish a job that they didn't quite complete before they went off to their pro careers.
Well, and how much easier it kind of is and he talks about that not everywhere do they help guys that have left and gone to the pros
Here
and then they
do.
want to come back. And at Nebraska, how important that is, how it helped them because it's not easy once you start playing in the NBA trying to go back to class.
Yep.
And how much easier and the academic guys here, and he gives a shout out to them and that they helped get that done for him.
That's cool. Buckle up, put that phone down. It's a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. 1 hour in the books, Isaiah Roby, Garrett Nelson, both coming up next hour. Come on back.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
So, when do you think you'll be done with our kitchen renovation?
Well, ma'am, the Italian marble countertops will take a while to get in.
No problem. In the meantime, you can start on the spiral staircase.
What?
If you win Mega Millions from the Nebraska Lottery with a jackpot that starts in the millions in drawings Tuesdays and Fridays, you can afford to go a little mega.
So you want us to build a spiral staircase?
Well, how else are we supposed to get up to the helipad? Oh, good. My husband's home.
Top prize odds 1 in 302 million.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. Nebraska is one of the best schools in America for student Fulbright scholars. 2021 marks the fourth time that the university has been named a top producing institution by the Fulbright program. Of the 30 Huskers who applied this past year, 10 were offered the prestigious Fulbright. An additional 16 Huskers were named semifinalists.
A DUI is everything you didn't prepare for. You did not save for it. You did not train for it. You did not go to school for it. You did not raise your family or buy a house or get a job for it. It is not your life goal or a dream come true. You have planned for everything in your life. You did not plan for a DUI. Get a ride. A DUI costs more than you think.
Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
From vintage sneakers to bacon-scented soap to water fountains for your pet, all can be had with a few simple clicks. Problem is, you never really know what you're going to get until they show up at your door. Introducing Ford Blue Advantage. It's used car buying that's built for you. Not only can you shop for used vehicles online, in person, or both, you can also test drive before you buy, so you know exactly what you're getting. Plus, get history reports, vehicle inspections, Ford warranties, and the expertise of factory-trained techs. Visit FordBlueAdvantage.com today.
Good evening. I'm Greg Sharpe. Here is tonight's Sports Ticker. The Huskers completed their fourth practice session of the preseason camp earlier today. Afterwards, defensive coordinator Eric Chinander met with the media and talked about today's workout.
I thought it was really good. To be honest with you, we had a shorter one yesterday, and it was a good practice. It wasn't as sharp as the first two. This one, the guys came back, and I thought they were really, really sharp. I thought they competed till the end. I thought the tempo was good. The offense looked sharp and crisp. I was really pleased with today.
Huskers will take tomorrow off before putting the pads on for the first time on Wednesday. We'll hear from some offensive coaches on Wednesday night's program. The U.S. women's volleyball squad survived their second 5-set match earlier today at the Olympics down in Italy. The United States will tangle with the Dominican Republic in the quarterfinals on Tuesday. The U.S. women's soccer squad lost their semifinal match to Canada 1-0, the Canadians' first win over the U.S. on the pitch since 2003. The United States will play for the bronze later this week against Australia. The U.S. baseball squad lost to Japan in extra innings 7-6. The loss puts the United States in the elimination bracket. The U.S. men's basketball squad will tango with Spain later tonight. That is a quarterfinal matchup. The U.S. still holds a slight advantage in the medal count with 64 compared to China's 62. China has won the most golds with 29. Fairly light schedule in the big leagues today. Cleveland 2-10. Games in progress. Bottom of the fourth, no score Phillies and Nationals. Bottom of the third, the Orioles have jumped ahead of the Yankees 2-0. The Mariners lead the Rays 2-0 in the top of the third. It's the Marlins 4, the Mets 2. They're in the bottom of the second. About ready to get underway, the Angels and Rangers, Pirates, Brewers later tonight, Giants against the Diamondbacks. Those are today's headlines. I'm Greg Sharpe.
Live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly on the Huskers Radio Network, bringing you the best Husker sports experience.
Kubik sends it past me, Gonzalez. It's over the net. Shut back by Stivrins. It's in. They did it. Match point, Big Red. 15-10 in the fifth. Fighting back from the abyss, down 2 sets love. Nebraska claims opening night against Ohio State. 15-10 set 5. My goodness.
Lauren Stivrins is a great leader, and Lauren was talking to those guys through when we were struggling, and she got them to change their mindset. And then I think Lexi led the way, and Nicklin, and so those are the guys that got to do that. Then it was fun to watch. We played Husker volleyball.
Sports Nightly is brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Transportation Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down. Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Here we are, Monday night Sports Nightly. Hope you had a good weekend. Cooled down a little bit for everybody. I'm sure a lot of you made it out to the lakes and did some of those type of things. Hope you had fun with that. Going to heat back up later in the week. Got a full hour ahead for you. One of the things that happened over the weekend was former Husker Isaiah Roby in town to put on a basketball clinic for some youngsters. Jessica caught up with him. We'll hear that interview. And we sat down with Garrett Nelson after today's workout, the junior defensive end for the Big Red from Scotts Bluff. We'll get his take about the early practice sessions. And we'll keep those phone lines open for you and our text lines at 402-413-2400. You caught up on sleep. You're good to go. You all fired up now?
I am, yeah. I love going out and going to the camp and chatting with Isaiah Roby. And then, on Sunday I was got some rest, and that was my off day. Now I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
So
got to recharge those batteries every now and then.
Yeah.
Isaiah has now made it through a couple of NBA seasons, drafted out of Nebraska by the Mavericks, and now is with the Thunder, and he loves this place, doesn't he?
Yeah, he really does. Obviously I'm from Oklahoma City, huge Oklahoma City Thunder fan, so I was a fan of his before I even got a chance to, chat with him. And he talks about this, but just the way that the Thunder kind of builds their roster and the guys that they bring in, it's a certain mold and good guys that work really hard. And he was fantastic. I was told that he would be great, and he was certainly. And he just kind of talked about why he wanted to have the camp here, and it just how much this place means to him, and the support that he had while he played here.
There's a lot of reasons why. I guess one of them, the biggest one would be, this is where I went to school, I had a lot of support here when I was here. From the minute I got on campus, I had a lot of support. So being able to come back and give back to the community and just put on the camp and have, it's been a tough year for everybody. So with restrictions loosening here, bringing the kids in the gym, having a good time, that's something that I've wanted to do for a while.
And the turnout, and so many people bring in your jerseys, wearing your jerseys and your trading cards. What does that mean to you that you still mean so much to the people around here?
It's a great feeling. It's kind of it's still surreal to me, honestly, to be able to see kids wearing my jersey and bringing the jerseys in to get signed. But I think it's just a testament to how good of a fan base there is here in Lincoln, and how loyal they are to their athletes.
How much do you enjoy doing camps like this and teaching kids the game?
Yeah, it's cool. It's a lot of fun. Honestly, we had a big turnout today, so it wasn't as much of like one-on-one stuff as I kind of even wanted it to be. But I mean, it's a lot of fun. Being able to just interact with the kids. Even when we had camps in Nebraska when I was played for the team, I would love just when we had like the summer camps. It was always a great time.
You got any? Have you seen any future Huskers out here?
I don't know. It's early on. It's real early. But I mean, we got a lot of kids who they love to play basketball. Like, they were like the day was over and they were mad that we didn't have another hour to go. So it's just good to see it, especially at this age level. It's good to just see kids out here having fun. I think when I was this age, I was still wanting to play. I wanted to play football in college. So like you never know what you're going to want to do, but it's just good to see kids out here having fun.
You coming off the year that you had and playing a big role for the Thunder, how much confidence do you have? How do you feel about how that last season went for you?
Yeah, I mean, last season was awesome. It was a great opportunity, especially coming off my rookie season where I was coming off an injury. I had the battle injury the entire season. I had a minute restriction. And even the summer leading into my rookie season, I was dealing with that injury. So this is the first summer I've actually had to work on my body without an injury. So it's been great. I've been in Oklahoma City most of the summer, just working out with the team and the guys that are in there. But last year was a great opportunity. It obviously wasn't the result that we all wanted. We had a kind of up and down season, but I think at the beginning of the year when we had the veteran presence with George Hill, Al Horford, Mike Muscala, those guys, we were playing really, really, really good basketball. We went on the road, one at Brooklyn, one at New York. So just stuff like that. It was great to learn from those guys, and it was a great learning opportunity for myself.
So now that you finally are feeling healthy, what do you hope to maybe do this next year?
Right. I mean, shoot, this summer's kind of been for me just working on a few things, like getting my body more ready, more NBA ready, getting stronger, putting some weight on so I can, play with those guys down low. But the strength of my game has always been my speed and my athleticism against those guys, so being able to keep that has been big. But look, going into next season, I'm excited. I'm excited for the new guys we're bringing in and the guys that we're bringing back, obviously. And, who knows what's going to happen. But, I'm just glad to be a part of the team still because we have such a good group of guys. And all the guys that they bring in, that's the Thunder. The Thunder kind of like backbone is like good guys, good hardworking guys. And, we have a really good group.
So a couple days ago, a fellow Nebraska basketball player had their dreams come true. It wasn't too long ago that you were in Delano Banton's shoes.
Right.
Can you take us back? What was that night like for you? And then how special it is for a guy like Delano to get drafted by his hometown team?
Yeah, that's really big. For me, Chicago, I'm not from Chicago. I'm from outside Chicago. But for me, Chicago was a team that I thought might take me. So that kind of would have been cool to go to my hometown team. But, I ended up getting picked up by Dallas, which was, any team that picked me up, I was going to be ecstatic about it. I just remember kind of, not being nervous until we got to like pick 30, and I started to get a little bit more nervous. I thought, this is when I could start to get picked. But it was a great night. Once I finally heard my name get called, and I knew where I was going. I was just a weight off my shoulders, and I just knew like I got to put my head down and work. So it was a great night, and I was happy to see Delano get picked. Me and him, we don't have a close relationship by any means, but I reached out to him. He actually came out to Oklahoma City and worked out for us. So I thought, we might take him later in the second round. But I was glad to see him go to Toronto. That's a great thing to be able to get picked by your home team. I think the first Canadian ever to get picked by Toronto. So that's a big deal. And I'm excited to see him play in Summer League.
As an alumni, you take pride in that, right? Seeing guys from your home school, from Nebraska, get picked, right?
Absolutely. I know. I kind of get crap from a lot of my teammates because there's not too many Nebraska guys. I think now it's me and Delano, but I was only Nebraska guy in the league. Before that, I'm not sure who the last guy was, honestly. It had been a while. So, hopefully we just keep that trend going. Every 1 to 2 years, get another guy in the league from Nebraska. That would be awesome.
You didn't play for Coach Hoiberg, but I know you've built a relationship with him. What does that say about him? You didn't play for him, but he wants to maintain a relationship with you and former players.
Yeah. Me and Fred, we have a pretty good relationship. It's weird for me to call him Fred. I used to just call him Coach Hoiberg. But Fred, he's been great for me. He's been able to, even when I was going through the draft process and he had just been hired on as a coach, he would reach out to the coaches and the teams that I had just worked out for and asked how I did. And he always kept tabs up on me. So he's always been a great outlet for me, especially coming back to Nebraska. Last summer I wasn't able to get in the gym because of COVID, but this summer he said, anything you need, just let me know. We'll have you back anytime. So I'm looking forward to watching those guys play this year.
The style and the system that he has in place here, and now you're playing in the NBA, how beneficial is that for these young guys to have a system like what Coach Hoiberg here has here in Lincoln? Yeah,
the way he's coaching and the system that he's coaching with, that's how the NBA is going. Positionless basketball. A guy like Delano, he played. He might have played 1 through 5 for Nebraska last year, and now he's getting drafted. That's what the NBA is turning into. So I think it's going to be fun to watch. I know they got a lot of new guys coming in, a really talented class coming in. So I'm excited to see them and see how they perform. But he obviously playing in the NBA, coaching in the NBA, being in the front office in the NBA, he has the NBA pedigree, and I think that's really good for not only Nebraska, but his players as well.
How much do you believe in the future of where this program is going?
I have great belief. When it comes to the things that make a great program, facilities, great coaching staff, high character players. I think that all those things are coming together here, and I'm looking forward to seeing that come to fruition. I'm like I said earlier, a lot of guys give me a lot of crap for come from Nebraska, which is not traditionally a basketball school, but I played with a few guys who played for Hoiberg at Iowa State, Abdul Nader, Deontay Burton. They were teammates of mine in Oklahoma City, and they had nothing but high praise for them.
And then you're going to get your degree soon, right?
Yes.
Can you take us through that process and why that was important for you to finish it up?
Yeah. So I left Nebraska after my junior year. I had some extra credits because I was always here in the summer doing summer school. And I took a break. When I first got drafted, I took a break from school. And actually Michael Finley, who was a part of the Dallas Mavericks front office, he went to Wisconsin, did the same thing as me, left after his junior year. And he told me that he went back and tried to finish after his playing career, and it was a lot harder. So he said, his advice to me was get it done as soon as you can. You only have a semester or 2 left. And I took heed to that, and I was able to finish that in a year. So I'll be graduating come August 14th. So I'm excited for that. It's a big deal, especially for coming from my family. None of my parents graduated college or attended. My grandparents didn't attend college, and so far me and my older brother, he graduated college already, so we're all on track to graduate college, me and all my brothers. So that's a big stepping stone for my family. That's
incredible. How helpful were the people at Nebraska and you in achieving that and coming back and getting that degree?
Yeah, Nebraska, they've done a great job of just making it like a seamless transition of almost, even though I'm not at school physically, I still have the same academic advisor reaching out to me and making sure I'm on top of my stuff, making sure, I'm turning things in on time as far as deadlines when it comes to my cap and gallon stuff. He's texting me saying if you want to walk, you got to turn this in now. So those guys have always been great. I work personally with Caleb Hawley. I don't know if he's gonna like the shout out or not, but he's always been great. He's always been on top of things for me, and he made sure that I got it done.
So that, and then the fan base, and just the where this program is headed. If you're a recruit right now, how special would this place be to come play here? Right. Nebraska, for me, it was, I wouldn't be where I'm at without Nebraska. I was, the hardest part that I've always heard about Nebraska recruiting is getting people to the state and getting people to Lincoln. And once they get them here, they see how special it is. They see the facilities, they see the fan base, they see the resources, both academically and athletically, that they have here. And it's a special place. such a great turnout, and it just shows how much the people here in Lincoln love Isaiah Roby. And it wasn't just little boys. There's a bunch of little girls, as many little girls there that were wearing his jersey, had his rookie cards, had his Nebraska jerseys. It was so cool as someone that played basketball, and I was in those shoes that I looked up to, those players like that. It was really neat to see, and so many of them out there.
That's great. Good for him, and good for him to come back and give back to the community a little bit. He was a fan favorite when he was here, and you can certainly see why. Such an engaging guy. We're all pulling for him to have a really long career in the NBA.
First time he said he's felt healthy in a while, so he hadn't been at full 100% while he's played in the league, so he's finally able to get his body right going into a season. So hopefully big things to come. You did hear him talking about playing multiple sports, that he was a football guy. That conversation we had, he said, I don't care if they want to play football now or basketball now, just as long as they're out here playing and having fun. So
good stuff. Well done. Good to hear from Isaiah. Hey, our Sports Nightly Hotline is brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto family, bringing you more choices in brands, locations, and service. Experience the difference. Purchase with confidence. This is Woodhouse. Phone lines open for you, 402-413-2400. We're back to take some more of your comments in the chat room on the text line, and we'll hear from Garrett Nelson. Caught up with him after today's practice for the Big Red. That's coming up next.
The game isn't just about winning or losing. It's about the snacks they share after they've used up all their energy in the field. It's the early morning practice before school and staying late after to get a couple more kicks in. It's the pride they feel for their team and the determination to always keep improving. Sure, the game isn't always about winning or losing, but when they've won the big game and celebration is in full swing, there's only one thing left for you to do. Get them home safe. Buckle up in back. Paid for by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Shop Woodhouse Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram during the Make This the Summer event going on now. The Ram is where fine form meets rugged function, designed to be durable, functional, and stylish, giving you the dependability you need for all your work projects and the luxury you deserve to get around for everyday driving. With a full lineup of all new 1500, 2500, and 3500 Rams, we're sure to have one that fits your needs. Shop our full lineup online at WoodhouseChryslerJeepDodge.com or stop out and see us for a test drive in Blair.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. A new grant from the U.S. Department of Agriculture is supporting Husker research in the study of multi-robot systems in ag settings. The almost $500,000 grant was awarded through the USDA's National Institute of Food and Agriculture to Professor Santosh Pitla. Pitla and his team will use the funds to further their research in the use of unmanned ground vehicles and drones on the farm.
Still waiting for your stimulus check? Don't wait for the government. Get the SOS stimulus package right now. For a limited time, get $2,000 off a qualifying York system. York products are all proudly made in the USA. Call SOS, a trustworthy company since 1950. SOS is a family-owned third-generation company. Get you and the loved ones comfortable again with SOS.
SOS to the rescue. SOS. SOS.
So, when do you think you'll be done with our kitchen renovation?
Well, ma'am, the Italian marble countertops will take a while to get in.
No problem. In the meantime, you can start on the spiral staircase.
What?
If you win Mega Millions from the Nebraska Lottery with a jackpot that starts in the millions in drawings Tuesdays and Fridays, you can afford to go a little mega.
So you want us to build a spiral staircase?
Well, how else are we supposed to get up to the helipad? Oh, good. My husband's home.
Top prize odds 1 in 302 million.
Husker fans, stay up to date with the most current and latest news by following the Big Red on Facebook and Twitter. These social media homes provide the fastest daily updates on everything surrounding NU athletics, including game results, ticket promotions, and Husker prizes. Log on to also follow several sports-specific pages and Husker head coaches. Become a fan today at facebook.com/Huskers and twitter.com/Huskers to join and interact with thousands of Husker fans around the world.
From vintage sneakers to bacon-scented soap to water fountains for your pet, all can be had with a few simple clicks. Problem is, you never really know what you're going to get until they show up at your door. Introducing Ford Blue Advantage. It's used car buying that's built for you. Not only can you shop for used vehicles online, in person, or both, you can also test drive before you buy, so you know exactly what you're getting. Plus, get history reports, vehicle inspections, Ford warranties, and the expertise of factory-trained techs. Visit FordBlueAdvantage.com today.
Back to Adventures in Technology. Look away! A runaway train of IT problems is bearing down on our brave IT hero. But wait! It's Marco's Technology Assessment to the rescue with life-saving IT strategies. Our hero's technology issues are derailed. A tip of the hat to Marco. And our hero rides into the virtual sunset of our WebEx background. For more successful IT adventures, go to marconet.com.
Buckle up, put that phone down. It's a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Greg Sharpe Jessica Coody with you here on a Monday night. Chat room chatty?
Yes, it's very chatty. You can tell it's football season, right? We had a comment about the number 2 quarterback spot.
Yep.
Will it be announced or will it be split evenly with the quote or on the depth chart?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think they may not settle on that. Well, maybe they will in the next couple of weeks. They'll have a scrimmage coming up later this week. I believe it's on Saturday. That might go a long ways in who's going to get that spot. I don't think they're close to naming that yet between Henrich and Logan. What I observed today is he's split pretty evenly between the two. So I think that's going to go for another week or so.
What about punt returner? I had a couple questions about that.
Cam Tater-Britt will be the primary guy. Remember, Cam's told us multiple times he's not coming off the field and did a good job in that phase last year. So I think it's his job to lose. So I would imagine Cam Tater-Britt's going to be the guy back there to retrieve punts. So, good stuff.
Yeah.
Speaking of good stuff, it's always entertaining to talk to Garrett Nelson, one of the more lively guys on this football team. He's certainly a high-energy guy, and he looked way different today because that customary mullet that he's had the last couple of years, it's gone. So we started there with what happened to the hair.
Yeah, I cut it. Yeah, it's gone now. I have to look like a civilized member of society now. So,
did you miss it?
No, I don't know. Like, I've never had long hair before, and I just, my dad would probably was more mad at me than anything having the hair, because he's always take us out in the backyard and just shave our heads. And I was like, the hair I had forever. So when I finally told him I was growing it out and doing it, he was like, he knew like I was not a grown-up dude or whatever, but like I could make my own decisions. So he was just kind of like silently like, yeah, okay, whatever. And I cut it, and then he was like happy again or whatever. But yeah, no, I buzzed it off, and now I'm just kind of doing whatever. I got my first professional haircut like 4 days ago. It was insane. Paid $30. It was great.
So this isn't going to be like Samson. You lose your strength when you cut your hair, right?
No. It's like more like, it does get in my everywhere. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, no, I'm more streamlined, aerodynamic, for sure.
I'm glad you cleared that up for us. How have been the first 4 days been?
Oh, awesome. It's great to have, like everybody, in the world knows that last year was weird. Didn't have a camp, didn't have guys around. So now having everybody back and being around each other all the time is great. It's great for camaraderie. That's the real stuff that you need as a team to win. Playing for each other instead of just, I'm out here because I'm out here. Having those dudes around us all the time, my best friends, my teammates, playing for them, making sure I don't let them down when I play is huge as a defense, as a team, as an offense. So, yeah.
Is the camaraderie better?
Yeah, in my truthful, in my heart opinion, that we are really, really, really close as a team, offense and defense. We love every single guy that we're around, not just saying that because I have to say it or whatever. I truly believe that we love each other, and that's why we want to play for each other.
What's been the competition in the first 4 days in your room? What's that been like out there?
Oh, awesome. We have some really good players that bring it. They know what they're doing. We give effort every play. We run every play. We know all that stuff. So, trying to improve myself personally and trying to improve them every day with how precise, how exact, how perfect can I be when I practice with pass rush, with run fits, with footwork, with hand placement, all that. and seeing that on film every day and comparing each other and, oh man, how do you do, I want to do that better and do extra stuff. It just kind of the whole element of iron sharpens iron type of deal.
What's been the battles with some of the offensive linemen so far?
Oh, it's always a great time. A couple punches thrown here and there, but they're getting after their job is to finish blocks and block us, and we know that they're looking at us. So we got to fight every day and put our helmets in their chins and get off of blocks, go make some plays.
Are you ready for full pads?
Yeah, no, I'm not actually. Believe it or not, I'm not a huge contact guy. No, I'm excited, man. I'm really pumped up. Having shells on is pretty much, besides pants. I mean, pants are really...
It's like pajamas, right?
Pants don't really even do anything in the first place. But, having pads on is great. Hearing the pop and, your helmet and taking it off and it's a good time. I'm a huge football guy, let me tell you.
Day off tomorrow. What does Garrett Nelson do on a day off?
Oh, man. We live on this big block we have about 30, I don't want to say 30, that's probably too many, 20 dudes-ish on the team. I think they were all linebackers besides Cam Jurgens that live. Now we have D linemen, the rest are linebackers, and then we have one receiver and a safety, yes. We all live on this block. We all come over to either one of our houses. We might pop on a movie, talk about it, just kind of hang out as the dudes, take some naps, maybe hit up a restaurant or something, have a good time. I don't know. We're too tired, so we just kind of chill on the couch and hang out with each other and BS. So that's always a good time.
There he is, Garrett Nelson. I don't know if you learned anything there, but at least it's entertaining, right?
Yeah, he needs to get some personality.
You never know where it's going to go with him, but he is a fan favorite, and he plays a million miles an hour. Sometimes I don't think he knows where he is, but he plays a million miles an hour, and people love that effort.
Yeah, I mean, you can understand why he is that when you just, show that charisma in interviews and he's a goofball, but then you love a guy that goes out there and lays it all out there. You're never going to have to question whether his effort is 1,000% every single time. And watching some film, boy, he just is all over the place. So, hopefully can tune it in and make some big time plays out there. So.
Well, he's one of those guys in that outside linebacker spot that's going to be asked to try to get to the quarterback. So he is in a battle to make sure that position improves this year. And again, it's one player you don't have to worry about his effort. Same thing with JoJo Doman on that outside. But always fun to talk to. And he does look different. I mean, that mullet is gone. I didn't recognize him when he came up the steps.
I like how he said he had to get his first real haircut ever. $30. It's like it's a big hit.
Crazy stuff. All right, phone line's open for you, 402-413-2400. If you want to hit us up with a comment or question, fire off a text. Jump on our YouTube chat room. Do it that way as well. We've got more Sports Nightly coming up.
So, when do you think you'll be done with our kitchen renovation?
Well, ma'am, the Italian marble countertops will take a while to get in.
No problem. In the meantime, you can start on the spiral staircase.
What?
If you win Mega Millions from the Nebraska Lottery with a jackpot that starts in the millions in drawings Tuesdays and Fridays, you can afford to go a little mega.
So you want us to build a spiral staircase?
Well, how else are we supposed to get up to the helipad? Oh, good. My husband's home.
Top prize odds 1 in 302 million.
From vintage sneakers to bacon-scented soap to water fountains for your pet, all can be had with a few simple clicks. Problem is, you never really know what you're going to get until they show up at your door. Introducing Ford Blue Advantage. It's used car buying that's built for you. Not only can you shop for used vehicles online, in person, or both, you can also test drive before you buy, so you know exactly what you're getting. Plus, get history reports, vehicle inspections, Ford warranties, and the expertise of factory-trained techs. Visit FordBlueAdvantage.com today.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
As the official bank of Husker Nation, FNBO invites you to take the game with you with the free Husker Visa debit card. Tied to your checking account, the Husker Visa debit card allows fans to show their Husker pride all year long. Get your free Husker Visa debit card today at any FNBO branch or visit fnbo.com/Huskers. FNBO, the official bank of Husker Nation. Member FDIC.
Stadium seats may have been replaced with recliners. Tailgates outside the stadium may have been swapped for the ones in the backyard. And thousands of screaming fans have been replaced by one screaming baby. The only thing that hasn't changed is us, watching the game together.
It's game time, baby.
Show off your Husker team spirit during your next virtual watch party. Visit Cox.com/Huskers to take a selfie with Herbie. And don't forget to share. Watch together, cheer together, take a selfie together, even if you're not actually together. Cox, bringing us closer.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. With a combination of strong academics and affordability, UNL offers an excellent educational value. This year, the university was named one of the Princeton Review's best value colleges. And the new Nebraska Promise and Career Scholarship programs are connecting more hardworking Huskers with financial help so they can pursue their dreams.
So, when do you think you'll be done with our kitchen renovation?
Well, ma'am, the Italian marble countertops will take a while to get in.
No problem. In the meantime, you can start on the spiral staircase.
What?
If you win Mega Millions from the Nebraska Lottery with a jackpot that starts in the millions in drawings Tuesdays and Fridays, you can afford to go a little mega.
So you want us to build a spiral staircase?
Well, how else are we supposed to get up to the helipad? Oh, good. My husband's home.
Top prize odds 1 in 302 million.
Nebraska Athletics are hiring event staff for the 2021 home football season. Our #1 requirement, be passionate about Husker football and ready to provide the ultimate fan experience for the greatest fans in college football. As part of the event staff, you serve Husker Nation and check out live game action inside Memorial Stadium. Apply right now and help kick off the Husker football season by working the Garth Brooks concert. For more information and to apply, visit huskers.com/event staff. Go Big Red.
Buckle up, put that phone down. That's a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you here on a Monday night edition of Sports Nightly. 402-413-2400, the number if you have a comment or question or want to fire off a text, or you can jump on our YouTube chat room if you have some thoughts you want to share with us here on the program tonight. Throughout the show, we've been talking about the Olympics. You stumbled upon a story about a softball player from Team Mexico that has kind of created a little bit of a stir. What's the deal?
Yeah, so apparently some of the, not the uniforms and jerseys, but maybe the linings and the warm-up shirts and whatnot were found. What they reported was in the trash in Tokyo, and so it's kind of been a pretty big uproar, and a lot of people from Mexico feeling like it was pretty disrespectful. And the president of the Mexican Olympic Committee said that, it's regrettable that they left behind the uniforms in such inappropriate places, the garbage, in favor of some bedspreads for the Olympic Village. There's kind of been some miscommunication, and I think what's kind of come out is that they were only allowed one bag. They have bats and gloves and all of that, so they could not fit everything that they were given in that to take home. But it seems like most of them have taken their jerseys back. There were no jerseys, but
practice gear, that type of stuff.
Sydney Romero posted about that, she's receiving threats and all kinds of, it's gotten pretty heated and pretty full of hate. But the pitcher, Danielle O'Toole, who played at Arizona, came out and, said that it was, an honor and a privilege to wear Mexico across her chest, and, basically just said, I should have found better ways. They had asked if they could ship it back. They said no, only letters were allowed to be shipped, and just that they should have looked into it a little bit more other than just leaving it behind, but that they were not trying to by any means, disrespect the country of Mexico. But yeah, it's pretty sad how much this has escalated.
They finished fourth, I think. They lost a bronze medal game.
The first time ever that Mexico had made the Olympics in softball.
Good for them. That was good run. Too bad it's kind of been tainted by this story, which it has gotten quite a bit of play. Turning to some college football, LSU quarterback Miles Brennan suffered a left arm injury that's going to put his availability for the upcoming season in doubt. He was the top returning quarterback. He had not been named the starter yet in Baton Rouge, but Miles Brennan suffering a bad injury that's going to hold him out for at least 6 months. So that's not a good way to start your camp at LSU. They don't start for a couple more days for practice, but man, that's a blow for the Bayou Tigers as they get ready to try to bounce back. They had a really bad year last year. They were not very good coming off their national title from the year before. Of course, Joe Burrow, the Heisman Trophy winner from 2 years ago, the number one pick by the Bengals a year ago, was not part of that team a year ago. But they dropped off a lot. Now you lose Brennan to an arm injury. Maybe they sold their soul to win that one national title.
A lot of negativity coming out about them too. I mean, I know it was the Les Miles era, but still, like a lot of cover up and negativity and kind of icky stuff that was going on there for a long time.
Ed Orgeron, their coach, was talking to some civic group or something, and they asked him about NIL, and he goes, "Well, that's great. The players now can get paid by somebody because we've been paying them all along." We can't say that. You can't be saying you're paying players.
What? Yeah. There's been some shady stuff going on there. It does not break my heart at all that LSU had a bad year last year. I'm sorry.
You're not a Tiger fan, huh? So, yeah. Well, it's one of the great places to go watch a college football game. That's one of the great things. And we mentioned a story a week or so ago about a young quarterback who has committed to play for Ohio State. He's a high school senior in the state of Texas by the name of Quinn Evers, I think it's Ewers, E-W-E-R-S. He's going to forego his senior year. He's headed to Columbus. He wants to take advantage of NIL.
It's crazy to me. And, so you hear some guys talk about, coming in for the spring, it's big for them to get a spring football, but a lot of them are appreciative of that last year playing high school ball, getting to at least experience a little bit of being a senior in high school. Man, you're just taking away one more year of the childhood, And yeah.
I said this to you last week. I understand NIL's there, and if he ever becomes the starting quarterback at Ohio State, absolutely, he is going to profit off that, just like any quarterback at any big-time program is going to with this thing. But he didn't go through spring ball. He's getting there in the first week of August. The guys that have been battling for the job are going to go, dude, you don't even know the playbook. So he's going to hold the clipboard all year? You think that's better than going and playing one more year of high school ball? I don't get it.
No, I mean, can he even play?
Yeah, he's reclassifying. He had to take some kind of quick course to get his high school degree. He's expected to be on campus later this week, but there's no way he comes in and wins the job. He's way too far behind.
And there's a lot of times freshmen aren't ready to play anyways, let alone juniors in high school, or seniors in high school.
He will battle redshirt freshman C.J. Stroud, who is expected to be the Buckeyes starter, and then another true freshman who's there, Kyle McCord. This guy is supposed to be next year's true freshman. He's speeding up the process. I just don't get it. I don't know this is my worry, and it's a worry about a lot of guys in the transfer portal, Jessica, is who's in their ear, who's giving them advice. And a lot of times it's really bad advice about what to do and what to do with your path.
Again, I think this needs to be something that's addressed with whatever NCAA legislation comes, if it ever comes. I mean, it's just what's going to stop a junior or a sophomore from doing the same thing? I don't know. I mean, there's got to be some sort of cap point where you stop this and okay, that's enough. This is a point where you cannot come this early.
To your other point, Ohio State's really got an empty scholarship hanging around. They're not at 85? Really? Or are they kicking somebody to the curb so this kid can come and move into his dorm room?
I don't know. Is he like on the team?
Yes.
So he's like on the team.
Yes. He will report to practice later this week for the Buckeyes.
Yeah, I don't know. And how are you getting all your high school requirements in and done?
Good question.
Is he like a genius?
He was set to graduate this summer anyway, so he must have had enough credits already built up, but is expected to join the Buckeyes in time for their preseason camp, which begins later this week.
Can we not just enjoy childhood a little bit?
Crazy. Just crazy. On our text line, any plans to have Trev Alberts on the program for the Athletic Director show soon? He will continue what we were doing, Bill Moose, a monthly Athletic Director show. We usually put those later in the month. So we'll have him, I'm sure, before we have kickoff with Illinois, but we do not have a solid date down for him. But he will have a monthly show here with us. So looking forward to that, to continue that tradition. Bill was so good with that show, and I'm sure Trev will be really good as well. Anybody in the YouTube chat room having some fun with
they're
us tonight?
just chatting about, position breakdowns and whatnot. So they're just kind of, it's fun to kind of follow along because the guys that kind of go on there just have kind of a conversation throughout the whole show.
They're having their own show within the chat room.
Yeah, so they're listening and chatting along. So.
Perfect. Good for them. On our text line, John said, good evening. This is off topic, I know, but do you see any attrition coming out of the Husker pitching staff before next season? Well, Cam Wynn got drafted, so he's gone. Spencer obviously got drafted, so he's out. I've not heard of any attrition. There may be some after they go through fall ball. That could happen. A lot of times they'll have more players compete in the fall than what you're allowed to carry into your season, so there may be some movement with the roster come November, December. But good question, John, and we'll jump into that when they get into fall ball in October and that type of thing. But not that I'm aware of at this point in time. A lot of the guys are wrapping up their summer league teams. Some are up in the Northwoods, some are in the Cape Cod. I know Cam Chick's back there. Max Anderson's back there. He was named an All-Star. But they'll wrap up those summer leagues in the next week or so and come back, get ready for school.
Trev's excited about the baseball team.
He is very excited.
He was talking about that the first day he got hired, about how he loves just the way that they play, and how Will Bolt is kind of his culture that he has in place. Just enjoyed watching them from afar, and now is excited to be a part of it.
One of Trev's signature things at UNO was he helped build a brand new baseball softball complex up there, and it's beautiful. It opened this past year, and so he understands that in a way it's a bit of an arms race. We love Haymarket Park, but it needs a new fresh coat of paint, and some of the player amenities over there have also gotten pretty worn. So I'm sure that they've had a conversation or two already about that.
Yeah, and I think the conversation was having about the golf program as well. That was mentioned at the golf tournament the other day, the golf facilities. So yeah, I'm sure Trev's got his work cut out for him on that front.
What's going NBA? I'm on one of the national pages. There's a ton of NBA
I know it's hard to
news.
keep up
It's all
with. I'm
popping
trying
today.
There's some trades and people.
Signing new
LA is
deals.
loading up.
They
Russell
are.
Westbrook's going to Los Angeles along with Ariza, and Chris Paul staying with the Suns.
Good for him.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
exciting.
Good for him. I'm glad he's not going to go try to be part of a super team. That Suns team was fun to watch in the playoffs. They were young. They were energetic. They looked like they were having fun out there.
And
I'm glad he's staying.
Yeah, and a lot of those young players credited Chris Paul for how much their game improved, and just kind of learning from him throughout this last year. And we heard a lot of that with what he did with the guys in Oklahoma City the year before, some of those young guys. So he continues to kind of shape the next generation, but I know they love him in Phoenix.
He's good with those insurance commercials that he does. He's really those have been a popular
The
run.
State Farm. Who's better, Chris Paul or Aaron Rodgers in those commercials?
Probably Chris Paul, I think. I think he is better than that. The Miami Heat have added Kyle Lowry to their roster. I see that. The Bulls have landed Lonzo for an ungodly amount of money, $85 million. My goodness, the money in the NBA is just unreal, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
Whew.
Crazy.
Way out there. Hey, our Sports Only Hotline is brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family, bringing you more choices in brands, locations, and service. Experience the difference. Purchase with confidence. This is Woodhouse. 402-413-2400, the number to dial us up with a comment or question. Fire off a text. We'll take some more of your reactions to some of the day's headlines and give you our weekend winners next.
So, when do you think you'll be done with our kitchen renovation?
Well, ma'am, the Italian marble countertops will take a while to get in.
No problem. In the meantime, you can start on the spiral staircase.
What?
If you win Mega Millions from the Nebraska Lottery with a jackpot that starts in the millions in drawings Tuesdays and Fridays, you can afford to go a little mega.
So you want us to build a spiral staircase?
Well, how else are we supposed to get up to the helipad? Oh, good. My husband's home.
Top prize odds 1 in 302 million.
Does it really matter where beef comes from? Meet the facts. Fact: Hy-Vee Choice Reserve beef comes from the Midwest, so you get only the highest quality beef raised on family farms here in the heartland. Where do the other guys get their beef? We're not sure either. Get the facts at meetthefacts.hyvee.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Back to Adventures in Technology. Oh no! Our IT hero is caught in the jagged jaws of ransomware attacks and phishing scams. Help! Wait! It's Marco's Network Security Solutions to the rescue with life-saving ways to detect hungry cybervillains and stop them cold in their tracks. With Marco's Network Security Solutions, our IT hero lives to surf another day. For more successful network security adventures, go to marconet.com.
As the official bank of Husker Nation, FNBO invites you to take the game with you with the free Husker Visa debit card. Tied to your checking account, the Husker Visa debit card allows fans to show their Husker pride all year long. Get your free Husker Visa debit card today at any FNBO branch or visit fnbo.com/Huskers. FNBO, the official bank of Husker Nation. Member FDIC.
Buckle up, put that phone down. It's a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Final few minutes of Sports Nightly here on a Monday night. You want to be a part of it? 402-413-2400. Call or text, or if you're watching us, we do video stream the show each night on our YouTube channel. There's a chat room in there, and folks have a good time in there every night. I think they maybe have a better time than we do here hosting the show. They all becoming friends. They're becoming chat room pals.
I know, and we have some faithful viewers that watch every single day. So we thank you guys for watching and tuning in, and we're paying better attention to your comments now and your questions. So we'll try to get to those every night as well.
Very good. Very well done there. Fun show tonight. We were able to hear from Eric Chenander earlier as the Huskers defensive coordinator. A couple of defensive coaches met with the media today. Barrett Ruud talked about the inside backers. Mike Dawson talked about the outside linebackers, and he also talked a little special teams. He is coordinating all those. Each of the coaches is taking a bit of the special teams, but he's kind of overseeing the whole thing. We'll hear from some offensive coaches on Wednesday. Tomorrow is an off day. Then they, for the first time, will put full pads on for Wednesday's practice session. I don't know which coaches are up. I know Matt Lubick, offensive coordinator, will be one of them. I don't know which other ones are coming. We will hear from Ryan Held tomorrow night. We'll dive more into that running back room. That's where a lot of people's attention is.
Nobody wants to hear about the running backs, Greg.
You just wait. you just wait.
That is the most facetious thing I think I've ever said.
Tongue firmly planted in your cheek for that one. So, hey, Olympics, are you kind of dialing out now? Are you still locked in? Or are you getting a little bit fatigued?
I've been locked in. I like the track and field as well, but it's just kind of gotten a little busy around here. So, but yeah, no, I'll be paying close attention to the track and field events.
We had an Italian win the men's 100-meter dash.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was surprising.
My notification that came through said, wildly unknown wins the 100 meters. So like basically nobody was talking about him.
And I was watching the coverage last night. All the kind of buildup was focused on 2 or 3 other guys, not him at all.
It was
and
like a
shocker.
shocker.
He won.
Yeah, and it's so fast you can't even like build it up.
No.
You just gotta like, oh my goodness, this guy that we haven't said anything about just won.
In the women's 100, it was a sweep for Jamaica.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, that was incredible.
That was amazing. They were incredible stuff. It's kind of been a mixed bag for some of the U.S. team results. They're replaying the soccer loss earlier today to Canada. Softball finished second. They got the silver. The best that the soccer team can do is the bronze. They'll play Australia for the bronze. Volleyball, though, looks like they're going to win their pool and get a really good seed for the knockout phase.
Yeah, and both the indoor volleyball team, they play tomorrow night, and beach volleyball plays tomorrow.
They just won a match, this afternoon.
If they win, then it's you're guaranteed to at least play for bronze. So you're in the middle round no matter what if you win tomorrow. So
that'll be good. I mentioned in the ticker, baseball was leading Japan going to the bottom of the ninth, ended up giving up a run to tie. Japan scored 1 in the 10th to beat them 7-6. They can still medal. They can still win the thing, but they dropped down into an elimination bracket. They got to win about 3 more games now to get back up on there. I'm like you. I'm a big track and field fan. I love watching all the things. They were showing the hammer throw last night. The pole vault competitions, I believe, are done, but I love watching the track and field.
Yeah, and the relays are my favorite, so that'll probably be at the end, right? So, I really enjoy watching all the track and field. It's probably third to gymnastics and swimming, and now 3-on-3 basketball might be fourth.
I know,
but.
you're big, all in on that. You know what's big, because that's what NBC puts in prime time, is what draws the ratings. So it's swimming, women's gym, track and field.
Track, yep.
Yeah, those are the three big ones. All right, let's get into our weekend winners. A lot to choose from. What do you have?
Well, listen, I have no idea what this meeting is happening. There's a Texas State Senate meeting going on right now, and they're talking about the move for Texas to the SEC. No idea what's going to come from it. Bob Bowlesby was there talking about the revenue that Texas brings in. We got the chancellors and the presidents from all the schools in Texas talking, but I got to give the winner, my winner, to the state senators. They came with some pretty impressive one-liners. Again, I have no idea what's coming from this other than pure entertainment on Twitter over the last couple of hours. So Charles Perry said this to the UT president: "I feel bad for the SEC. Cousin Eddie's coming home and he don't leave until he's wrecked the whole house." So there's one jab. And then Lois Kolkhorst, who went to TCU, tells UT president, 3-7 against the Horned Frogs. Maybe your fan base would rather lose to Alabama than TCU.
Ooh. Burn.
So bringing the one-liners are the Texas State Senators in this meeting that I have no idea what's coming from it, but some entertainment on Twitter.
Yeah, I don't know that it does. I don't think it does anything to change what's happening, but it probably makes them feel better to slam in on Longhorn fans. My weekend winner, I'm going Caleb Dressel. He was phenomenal in the pool. 5 gold medals. He's right up there with Phelps and Mark Spitz for 5 golds in 1 Olympic Games. Impressive swimmer. It was so fun to watch him. He won a couple of those races that it's really hard to win both. He was able to do it. I think the freestyle and the fly, pretty impressive stuff. He's an impressive swimmer.
Well, and especially on the relays, you just never know, and you're relying on other guys. So for him to go in and sweep, and with that pressure, which we've heard Michael Phelps talk about how hard it is, and he came in knowing that the pressure's on him. Hey, he could be the darling. Hey, he could win all these golds, and he went in and delivered. And you saw the first gold medal, how much emotion he had. He just lost it because of how hard it's been, and there's no fans, and it's, just a challenging year. So, he was awesome.
I don't know that the no fans, I don't know how much it impacts swimming. Because when you're in the water, I don't know how much you hear them or know them. You know they're there. Maybe you feel their energy.
Well, I guess maybe more so not being able to have your family in the stands.
True.
That more so knowing that they're at home and they're not there with you, that's got to be difficult.
But watching the gymnastics with nobody around them, the beach volleyball with nobody around them, it's track and field. There's nobody in that big stadium.
It sounded like, did you see the Italian high jumper that was getting the crowd going last night? I guess maybe just the teams that were there, they were kind of trying to provide some energy, which was pretty cool. But.
Right. It's just too bad. The city and the city of Tokyo is losing a lot of money because that they put the bid in hoping to get all these hotel rooms filled up, restaurants filled up, and they're not getting any benefits from that. I'm sure we're going to hear disastrous economic reports from Tokyo in the months to come.
Well, and just how much it costs to build all of those facilities, and then you build them to have the seats full. So then not seeing a return on that, it's got to be tough.
Got to be tough. My runner-up for my winner was Jake Myers, the former Husker who got called up by the Astros over the weekend. He did get 1 at bat in the Sunday game. We're trying to get Jake on the program. What a fun guy. I told you this on Friday, Jessica. He's one of my favorite Husker baseball players of all time. I just love him. I'm so glad he's gotten a chance to get into the show.
And you're working on hopefully getting him on at some point.
Hope so. And we haven't given up on Delano Banton.
No.
We're still trying to get him. He's been busy doing, I think
he's meeting with Drake.
Yeah, he was taking pictures with Drake today.
Greg, would you have ever thought we would have fallen behind Drake in the priority list for Delano Banton?
He's going to have to answer why that happened. He is going to have to answer that.
We'll ask him if he comes on.
All right, that's going to put a wrap on tonight's show. Thanks to Jessica, to Mike, to Andrew for being a part of this one, and all of you. Great comments tonight on our text line and our YouTube chat room. Good calls early in the program as well. You can tell people are starting to get a little more fired up. Football practice is underway. 4 of the 25 before the opening game now in the books after practice earlier today. That'll put a wrap on tonight's show. Have a great night. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. Good night.
up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Did you ever buy something and get more than you expected? Emeritus offers insurance, employee benefits, and financial services, but we deliver so much more. The comfort of a human voice when you need it, the confidence of flashing a beautiful smile, the relief that your family can keep living the life they love, the serenity of knowing you've planned well and can enjoy life. That's what we really deliver. We call it fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services, and much more.
Stadium seats may have been replaced with recliners. Tailgates outside the stadium may have been swapped for the ones in the backyard. And thousands of screaming fans have been replaced by one screaming baby. The only thing that hasn't changed is us, watching the game together.
It's game time, baby.
Show off your Husker team spirit during your next virtual watch party. Visit Cox.com/Huskers to take a selfie with Herbie. And don't forget to share. Watch together, cheer together, take a selfie together, even if you're not actually together. Cox, bringing us closer.
As the official bank of Husker Nation, FNBO invites you to take the game with you with the free Husker Visa debit card. Tied to your checking account, the Husker Visa debit card allows fans to show their Husker pride all year long. Get your free Husker Visa debit card today at any FNBO branch or visit fnbo.com/Huskers. FNBO, the official bank of Husker Nation. Member FDIC.
Does it really matter where beef comes from? Meet the facts. Fact: Hy-Vee Choice Reserve beef comes from the Midwest, so you get only the highest quality beef raised on family farms here in the heartland. Where do the other guys get their beef? We're not sure either. Get the facts at meetthefacts.hyvee.com.